wrong output of the sound here. Hello Bloom folks, welcome and welcome back to this Gnomes Saturday. Who will ever watch this? Anyways, I'm gonna do this anyways. This will not be very long, I hope so, because I have, yeah, so we can, let's get something more about rigging here on the character Dorothy. I have good news though, and so this will be good information here, so we can also process this. Let's get not this costume here, but actually can be this one. All right. All right, let's add this. No, not this. Star. I'm writing the chat here. So it is bone physics. No problem. In instant constant transforms. Yeah, it's like it's very niche, but let's like no problem in instant revision has shown no problem, no interference, no how do I call this? I'm warming up here my brain for this. No disruptive problem on instant constant transform setup, rest position to pose position, or alright, so what does that mean? What does that Greek thing means? It's basically the following, folks. I was doing this rig and I had this specific high heel boots rig, right? That you see that this is the this is the, as we know, the maybe, yeah, probably know, all humanoid rigs usually have this more advanced, right? Advanced foot rig. So you have this kind of bone roll, foot roll bone, right? And you see this is the rest position on edit mode, and this is the pose position, so the rest pose. So if I reset these bones here, nothing happens. It is warping from here to here, and this is, I did that on purpose so that I can have these high heel boot stance for the feet and the boots, right, already on that in that way. It's not completed setup. There is something I need to fix for these limits, right? The limits changed, or better, they need to be adapted, because this already here, if it started here, if I didn't have this thing, okay, then you see I can, here is the default, right? Ignore the boots, but so just see the left foot here, right, which is flat foot. So this is the normal stance of the feet, and this setup works. Then what we do is that I actually, there are different ways to do this, but this is a way that I get immediately this transformation bone constraint, which has a driver, and this in this case this is a custom property, but it could be just a bone that you toggle here, driving bone, but no driving bone here. This is a driver influence of a bone constraint driven not by a bone but by a custom property. So I've already shown this setup one or two streams ago, so I'm not gonna go in details here, but just to mention, so here we've got the custom properties. Yeah, so I have plenty here, but then we got the fit stance. So the default here is 1 instead of 0. So when I reset the pose, right, or I reset this is goes to, so if it is 0, then this thing goes flat foot. So it's a flat feet stance in opposition to the default for the character when she's wearing boots, high heel boots. So that will be the high heel stance, equivalent to 1. So then that means that on pose mode, if we check here, this transformation has this driver, which is just a copy the driver, copy as driver from the value there, and then paste it here. We have this, it's driven, I cannot control here, but I can control from the custom property. Yeah, so anyways, and then what happens is that yeah, I can also disable here to check the difference. So the problem that I was having is that not only this, but this bone, which is the torso bone, also has a transformation bone constraint for feet stances. So it's either 0, either well, this gradual, but it doesn't matter. Basically, either there's one extreme which is 0 and or the other extreme which is 1, which is the high heel foot, because the high heel stance, because of course because of inverse kinematics on the leg rig, if we do this, you see the leg bends, but this is not what we want, right? We want also to leverage the whole body, so we can create, just as I created here a transformation bone constraint map from, this is all 0, so this is a way to cheese Blender to get a constant transform, like just adding rotation on a 18 degrees positive here, the minimum. So actually this is the maximum, the positive direction, but actually what I'm doing here is that I'm making that the minimum instead of 0, which will be the default, right? So this is a blank bone constraint until I place the minimum. So I'm doing the inverse here, so instead of adding a negative minimum, no, I'm pushing the base to instead of 0 to something higher. So it's like this will generate as if it was a driver, but it's not a driver, it's just a bone constraint. It is generating a transform, a constant transform, as long as I have this or some value here in the influence. So this constant transform, same thing here, except that for here the constant transform will be just all 0, so location from, I think here could be anything, it still doesn't matter because it's all zeroed out, so there is just proportional, but there's nothing. The change is like it's like always. This means always change the location by setting. So it's here same thing, changing the minimum, which is by default was 0, but so getting a minimum, so it starts already like leveraged in relation to its and because this master bone, right, it will leverage everything, right? So then because of essentially because of bone parenting, it's higher on the hierarchy, and I don't use the center of gravity for that. No, it will be the torso, because the torso, then of course I could also leverage the hand with this, and the cool thing is that, okay, this, because it's not a driver, I'm still free to move this, right, even on the right. So this is in this case also, this is add, right, very important. So by having add, and in this case before original, so this stacks with whatever extra transform we do. So the problem with this setup, or I thought that would be a critical problem, would be for physics, because I was having some issues when I was making some tests with physics alongside this instant transform, right? Because as soon as I go on rest pose, from rest position, edit mode, binding pose state, to tab into pose mode, or then the transforms occur instantly. There's a warping setup, right? And then what happens is that, okay, but what about the physics? Would the physics be warped as well and then like go crazy, like because we have a distant smooth motion of the bone. So for example, the hair, all these bones of the cloak, they have physics, all this. So doesn't this will make the bone suffer like an instant motion at 0, right? Keyframe all in the frame 1, from frame 1, like instantly. Wouldn't it recognize that a brutal harsh motion? I thought so, as I was doing some tests with eyelashes wiggle to Addon setup, right? But I dumped that experiment for this character, or for other. It's cool, but it's kind of tricky to. And then something very weird was happening with the eyelashes, that the mesh, that they were pushed back, and that led me to the confusion. Now I think I understand why they were pushed back, but I cannot confirm. Basically, I think the gravity was too strong as default one, so too strong and the mass of the eyelash was just too small, because eyelash, right? And then because they would be like floating thing, so the gravity was just pulling them naturally very high, and in spite of the stiffness and dump. So and then also because the hair was getting seemed to be, I don't know, gravity pulled down a bit too much. I got confused with this, and I thought that it is this setup, it's critical to, it doesn't work. I need to find a way. And then I was trying to I revised all this thing. I keyframed like I even tried to keyframe everything and see, and turns out that there's no conflict. There is no right. You say you basically reset the bones, and then you so very, very good, because that would be a tragedy if that it was really like that I suspected. No, it was not like that. It was just my coincidental issue that that I thought that was something else. Okay, so reset the bones. You see, I don't have, this is keyframe just for annotation, so there's no keyframes here for this, for anything here on the armature object. Then reset all, then reset physics, and then I play this physics, and you see there's no brutal motion. Yeah, they have some motion, but this is because of gravity. Probably if I change that, so just to try to prove here that there is nothing, that they are not affected, I'm gonna do some changes here in the physics bones. I'm not gonna save this. I hope I don't make this mistake. We're gonna reduce we're gonna augment the gravity here, and we're gonna reset physics. So this happens, of course, and this brutal harsh motion is what confused me. So I think this is what was happening to the eyelashes, because the gravity was, their gravity, right, was too high, it was too high for so little mass. So there's some dropping down of those things, but it's not like harsh. And so if I maybe makes this mass very low here, select all, reset, you see, no, it's not critical. So I still not sure what could be causing the crazy thing of the eyelashes, but anyways, maybe I accidentally augmented their gravity. There's a possibility, but it doesn't matter. The fact is that to prove that this is not, the setup doesn't cause this thing even without without any keyframes. So the physics, it works on keyframes. It doesn't care about the rest position, abstract transition to the pose position. It doesn't matter for the physics, because the physics needs to read something in the timeline. So there's no timeline in rest position, right? It's just one thing, so far as I understand, right? So it's like shape keys, like, no, it's not like shape keys. The shape keys, they don't have a timeline. What they have, yeah, you can give can keyframe shape keys. That's what the shape keys have. They have their own value, right, from 0 to 1 or something like that. But these are not timeline. It could be conceived in terms of time. So physics don't read transitional distance between rest position, like time distance between rest position to pose position or pose mode, right? Edit mode to pose mode. So it doesn't matter if the bones, they warp, let's say. This warp, space warp, is not read in terms of time. The bones, if the bone is here on the frame 1, then okay, physics will start reading, provide everything is reset, and you can even keyframe it's similar. So physics will read from here. It will need to play to do something. It needs the time here. So this so good stuff, because that would have been a tragedy if it were as it was. So the way to demonstrate that the setup doesn't apply, doesn't cause trouble, is that I'm gonna pick all, reset physics. Okay, I'm gonna play. So check this. You see, there's some things like this. The cloak balance, the hair drops a little, but it's nothing very harsh. Hold on, I'm gonna reset physics. I don't want to loop physics. Okay, you see, nothing inadequate. Then we're gonna go back to the bones, and now I'm gonna turn off this bone constraints, turn off this bone constraint, and I'm gonna reset all. I'm gonna go back to the physics bones, and reset physics is for the global setting, so it's okay. Going back to frame 1, okay, reset all, reset physics, just to double check. Then let's play that, and you see the result is essentially the same. You see the cape cloak still floating a lot. There's just the going back, right? No looping physics here. So you see there's nothing, no big, there is essentially is the same physics. And so that means that there is no, this setup that I've made for the high heel boots of the stance, different stances, and the warp change transform, right, from edit to have that constant, doesn't affect the at least not physics from bones, or more specifically wiggle to Addon. So I think it will be generic for all physics, because it's about, so because the physics is about the time spent in the timeline, and not the time no time spent in transition from edit mode to pose mode. So this is why there is so that for me this is great news, because I was about to have a huge problem having to figure out a different setup for this. So here was my question here, because I thought that it was caused okay, download everything. So I won't need to do, because of that, maybe pose asset for high heel stance can bypass the transformers. So this will be that we can do the high heel stance with a pose asset, which can be interesting. The problem is that this is not a, you have to be clicking it every time you reset the rig, the arm, the bones, right? So but it's a good idea. It can work. I think it works very smooth, right? I haven't tried, but I have tried with similar setups and of warping, and it can substitute any warping setup, right? But the cool thing of the warping is that it's automated, right? And so in my case, because I want the flat fit of her, then I want that the rest position is like this, at least for the foot, right? And then that means that the pose asset, if this were done by pose asset, we need to be the one in which the fit is like that. So I'd need to always be applying that pose asset just for the, probably just for this bone, actually. Yeah, well, actually this one too, if we want the leverage. And I think we usually want the leverage here of the torso, because yeah, the girl or the character, whoever use high heel boots, then will have this leverage of this, the whole torso, right? And that instead of having bent legs because of the inverse kinematics when this okay, so here we're gonna make some adaptation, because this costume, actually not only this character, okay, so this is like secondary. I can maybe another shape key, so this is, these are questions that don't really matter for here, so you can take this off. So more but like notes for me, things to consider, other high heel boots rig setup. Yeah, so this is not something that I need here anymore, so we're gonna make good progress here. So the thing here is that, did I? Okay, so probably I saved here something. I hope I didn't do anything wrong to the, okay, so the rig. So here I need to readapt some of the costumes. So this costume she's having here is the urban, and when I modeled these boots here, they were not adapted to the high heel boots setup. So this means that I will have to redo the setup of the high heel boots, at least the for the boots mesh object, right? To this to the same character, but it's a different costume. Also, there's this Space Marines setup that also requires that also have got these boots here, which okay, they are different boots, so we're gonna have to make the same thing. I think I achieved that with with a shape key, right? So this one is already rigged. Maybe it could be improved, right? But essentially what is happening here is that, yeah, probably can improve some stuff here. These boots have a shape key so which helps me maintain the. So I model the boots. This is tricky, but essentially this is a new approach that I found that works. Not too different from the. So I modeled the boots as if the character was already in the. Yeah, I modeled the boot with the rest pose that with a pose that is like this. It could already be the rigged with the high heel stance or not, but I just need to pose the character like that, and then I model the boots as, not as we see here, but I model the boots here as if it were hold on, what's happening here? Oh, of course, it's because it is suffering from armature. So okay, take off the armature modifier. It might not have in the beginning. So I've modeled the boots like that, just as if the character design, yeah, on high heel stance, right? Basically, we can make the character design, all the model shit with high heel boot stance, but it's tempting, right? Because but then it might be bad for other things, so whatever. I prefer this approach. There are always advantages and disadvantages, so I think this one is more versatile. This is why I insist in this. I like to have that character with the widest, craziest motion possibilities and stuff like that. Alright, and so that means that I can model the boots like naturally, but then what we'll do with that later is that we make a shape key, not here, but actually we're gonna wave paint the boots with the leg, right? And then it will start deform very crazily, right? And then we need to make a shape key, of course, with this thing disabled, right? We need to make a shape key to have the boots correct these deforms. So by getting them there, so when we do this, then the boot we'll have a shape key, and then let's enable this again. So it's a sort of back and forth, and this so instead of having the shape key helps, because instead of modeling the boots and deforming it, maybe applying its armature modifier, that technique, right? Instead of having the mesh of the boots like this by default, no, the mesh of the boots is like that by default, the rest position, and this is actually achieved by a shape key, which is a sort of a corrective shape key, right? It's a distorted high heels boots and flat. So this is a corrective, yeah, we could call, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, corrective high heel yeah, it's a corrective, that's it. And so what we're gonna do is that the setup works for, is already working, right, for these boots, but we need to reproduce this for the other costumes. So in this case we could start with urban. So we see I have modeled, let's adapting more boots cloth mesh objects to high heel stance setup. Okay, super long titles have been so, but that might be helpful in at any time. So here we're gonna go for from scratch. Well, not exactly from scratch, but so just to okay, let's be didactical here. So it's not ideal, but here I have this bone which has the custom properties, right? So if you have a rig UI, it is better. I have one, but no, let's just do it from here. I want to zero this fit stance. Okay, we zero this. So you see, here is the foot row controller bone, right, for this side. So we see that the flat foot of the character is fine, but the boots are not fine. The boots deform. They deform in sync, right? So that's fine. So the boots were rigged in incorrectly, but it still deforms more or less correctly. But it's sort of the heel, especially, and some other parts are not in good shapes, right? So you need to make the adaptation. So to do this, we're gonna get the boots mesh, and I think what I need to do, yes. So this is the ideal shape of the boots. Maybe let's make a little corrections here, because I have probably ended up adjusting the body mesh. So I'm gonna make a few corrections here. So this is not a shape key, this is the boots themselves. Maybe we can smooth this out. Try to follow some shapes. This can take a little while, but eventually we're gonna try to. So let's assess here. Maybe we can. Yeah, so here we got some. Let's use the proportional editing here. Maybe Alt S. It has a solidify modifier. It has a subdivision surface modifier. Yeah, it has many things. So this seems to be fine. Yeah, I need a few more adjustments. It's very simple mesh, right? So it's not like okay, so here we see that we probably could improve these shapes here. Let's make some adjustments here as well. Maybe placing this. This thing may be a bit too behind, yeah. And exactly. So what I'm gonna do here, let's turn off the armature modifier, and let's leverage the fit here to the high heel stance. So actually we need the custom bone again. That will be better, because then not only it's not just this that I need, I also need the legs to stretch. So I need to get both, because if I just do this, you see, as I do this, the shin moves a lot, right, when I stretch the leg. So I need to model the leg with the pose that is the high heel stance, the good high heel stance, not something. This is not high heel stance sufficiently, right? Just the foot roll. So where is the, why is not appearing? What's going on? Oh, it's not the, it's on the bone tab, of course. So here we're gonna do this, and so you see, this is how I need to remodel the boots. If I am thinking correctly. Hold on, I need to be sure here. So let's go back to the one that is working. Let's turn off the, okay, so you see, no, it's not modeled. The armature modifier make it adapts to the high heel stance in that part, at least. And the shape key is more about, okay, you'll see the shape key will be later. Okay, so we need to, I need to ignore the part there for the, this method is confused because it's always confused for me, but I've made, it's the first time I've made this setup and it worked with the shape key. Okay, so here is where we need to, okay, without armature modifier, this is the real boots. It adapts, sort of, but now what we're gonna do is that we're gonna do the, now it's very recursively we go back, keeping the armature modifier, but we're going to reduce here, and is this right? Hold on. I know this is not completed. Oh yes, of course this is not complete. You see the, of course, you see what's happening here. The this is not the heel here is not good. It looks good because, but you see, it's, there is the intersections here. So actually what we need to do here, this is where comes the shape key. So you go to the object mode, edit mode, and here I need to adjust this in a corrective shape key. So I'm gonna create bases and the corrective high heel boots, right? Get this, maybe get this. Okay, so I need to edit this mesh now in such a way that I'll have these things aligned in the correct way, and that will probably mean that I'll have to push this into the ground, something like this. Of course I can make other changes here. I'm not gonna make these changes. I think it's just for here, but I might be wrong. We're gonna see. In the end, if it works, it works, right? So I don't need to I think I've also made some adjustments here because of the shape of the... Yeah, so you see, maybe we'd like to have some improvements here. So I don't know, this is just a shape key, right? So we can mess with it a lot. Here I'm not sure if I should do anything here. I can always reset the based on and just keep this change in the end, so it's no big deal. So we can make... I know that if I remember probably I did make some change with the shape key also there. Actually we can immediately verify that. I think I did verify. So sorry about the confusion here, but this is a tricky method, right? So here the corrective, yeah, you see it leverages the shape key. Actually it does the inverse, right? It negatively leverages everything. Here there's a little change here, but it's about, yeah, it brings things down probably in the same, about the same height that, so sort of, right? So no big change here as I was trying to do, but we can always transfer any change we make to from this to the bases or something like that. So there's always a risk to distort the, right, the mesh creating. So maybe I shouldn't be doing anything here, just pushing down all this mesh maybe, yeah, like so. Let's just do something like this, maybe rotate a little. Yeah, it's confusing here. I am not totally sure what should be done, but we'll see in the... Here I don't think this needs to be matching, but I did some, yeah, you see here it's a bit weird what's happening here, so I'm gonna try to get some alignments. Maybe here move this like here. All right. So you have this, and now we're gonna... Okay, it's enabled, but something is not correct. The shape key is not seeming too effective. Oh yeah, the shape key is not doing its job for some reason. Would that be more complicated? And I think I need to model the shape key with the armature modifier, like take into account the... Yeah, possibly. So apparently, okay, there are probably different ways, different approach to solve the problem. So here anyways we're gonna make this interpenetration, right, clipping, right. We're gonna, on purpose, we're gonna make the high heel boots intersect with the ground, which is, right, which is the way that we can achieve the in this case the shape key, the corrective shape key. Alright, so this will be weird, right? Maybe it's something about the rig. Maybe it's something about the waves. It's hard to see with this. Okay, the rest position is this. So actually I was confused. Of course the character is higher on the ground, so I need to create a new line, so probably this one. So alright, so when I reset, now I understand what's going on. So the here is the flat fit stance, meaning that the boots are, this is the when the characters is like that, and the boots of course they intersect with the ground. But as soon as I get, the boots has the armature modifier, right? So as soon as I get, it was wave paint, right? As the fit, although it was sort of wrongly wave paint, but this is still deforms well, right? So here what happens that as soon as I get the high heel stance in this setup, in this condition, then it is here that I need to make the plane of adaptation. And probably this is a mission, a quest for shape key, for the corrective shape key. So what I did wrong is that this must be the final shape, as if the boots were. Oh yes, so we need to see this, right? So I need to edit the boots, this mesh, right? So I could be using this, it could be easier, right? So this is just what matters. I need to get this mesh aligned. So what I could do is just try to snap to. Strange, I didn't have to do this in the other time, so I was gonna use this full grid snap here, and or no, instead just get something like this. Let's find this line here, 3D cursor and SX. SX0, no. Oh yeah, I see why. Because this mesh is, it responds to something else. Alright, so we're gonna do it visually then. So it won't respond to the what we see. It will respond to the, yeah, so it will go nuts here. It doesn't respect the shape key the arrangement that we see in real time, but Still we can get some fair alignment here. That should be sufficient. Alright, and also, why not? We could make some more adjustments here. So see, I'm not even touching the feet, right? It's just the boots. And this is the shape key, right, folks? So it's normal that this thing goes up like that, right? Sort of. Can be exaggerated a little. Here, what's going on? Looks like we've got okay, this is the edge loop of this area here in the joint, so makes sense. And here, yeah, so we don't need to be changing this is fine. And now you see, I'm gonna save here. Okay, so of course this deform is exaggerated. Here is where we need to change the limits, but as you see, it is working, right? We are getting the possibly we could improve something here. Oh yeah, so this maybe we could it's important to maintain the rest position with good alignment despite of the shape key. So here I'm a bit confused, so I'm gonna risk changing the bases. Okay, here for the bases we can get this vertex aligned to, right? We can sort of do this. These are gonna change the shape keys as well, right? Let's activate here and okay, what did I do to this? Oh, the overlays. Right, so let's check once more. So this seems to be, yeah, so this one seems to be properly rigged now. And so here we got, yeah, so here the limit, still something weird here. I'm not sure, yeah, it's probably the deform, but here is fine. It's just in this rotation here. Probably should revise the waves, but this is another thing. The other boots are not suffering this too much. So anyways, overall, so here this should go much less than that, so maybe quite like 10 degrees less maybe, or we keep exaggerating, but it doesn't need to go that much. And here of course we don't want all this, so this is extrapolating. We need to fix it maybe about here, right? And this is the part that I'm not sure how to fix yet. So let's go now for the last boots of this. So there is urban, so I don't need this one. Let's go for, okay, there's actually fantasy, but this is, I won't care. So there is these boots, which we'll do this as an exercise, folks. We're gonna just see if we can. So it's the same mesh of this one basically. It was a duplicate, and I've changed the material, so we can exercise this fixing here. I think it is rigged. Yeah, it is rigged, so we're going to try this again. Alright, so you see it's getting a follow-up, but now I'm gonna add a shape key to this. So I've modeled it like this, like as if it has the stance, but then it gets it's being pushed up because of the transforms, right, on the armature modifier. But now I need to correct it from this deformed pose, I think. So then we're gonna add shape key, so corrective high heel boots. So we're gonna maximize here, use this, and use the, not all modifiers have this support for shape keys, but the armature modifier has. So that means that we can totally do this here. So now the idea is to find the angle, right, and the distance there. And so here it's also confusing, but we can make some corrections. In the shape key I was leveraging down because the model sheet, right, not the model sheet, but you see it shouldn't go that up. This is why the correction, we want to leverage it down, so to counteract the skinning. Just don't ask me to explain. It makes sense, right? It's complicated, but if you try to do it yourself, maybe you'll have a much easier time understanding and than myself, right? And maybe they'll find a better method too, but it's an interesting problem, right? And there's not a lot of content. I've seen some ideas, but I like to devise my own solutions whenever possible. Sometimes they are better than, for me at least, than what I see around. And rigging can be also said an art form, so it's okay to get ideas from other, explore these ideas and then bring up something slightly different or very different sometimes, better or not, but the important is to also to see on your own, on our own, if you can achieve something of interest, and in this way on a complex subject and complicated issues, and then we can start to understand the art of rigging. Okay, so here let's see what this is doing. So apparently we have the character, okay, the character is the same, we have the high heel stance, and see the boot seems to be correct. Well, maybe not here. We're gonna, is this the shape key? Yes, this is the shape key. So I think this is what I'm doing wrongly. This needs to be like, it's like there's, it's not exactly this, is just about, it's like this is like curving, it's something like this right in the end. Yeah, I think like this thing bends more about here, right? So something like this, but the angle is not quite right. Let's see. The problem is that now I'm not seeing with the okay, I did it wrong, so now I need to push that indeed. So we need this apparently. Then you see on X-ray, so yeah, and so here is the, this is the pose where, oh yeah, actually, sorry, this is obvious. I need to get a good pose from this with alignments that I have to do sort of manually, unfortunately. So this is one drawback of this, is all the other methods, they all have the similar complications, right? It's like you need to find what suits best for your case, the least, not necessarily the least complicated, but the whatever is more aligned with the rig that you're trying to do, right? Alright, so with this approach here, I think now we got, now I think we've got it. Let's turn off this. So I wasn't very aware of, this is not the rest position, this is the rest position. So this is just a shape key, and maybe it's normal that we get this in the end, doesn't matter, it's just a shape key. The shape here seems good. However, it might be that on certain pose we might be getting some weird, yeah, like here. So this can be dangerous. That shape key is definitively causing this thing, I guess, on this other pose. So I don't remember this problem before. what we can do about this? Okay, so you see, this is the shape that is being distorted. I have to align it here. But what does that mean to the other poses, right? And then we go back and forth until we... Okay, got this better. Yeah, it's quite confusing, but let's see now if this... I hope this doesn't distort now. Yeah, now this distorted like this. And now you get some distortion like here. Maybe it's happening because of the waves, so I have to address these waves. But you know what? No, it's probably a shape key thing, because a shape key, right, you can really mess up the organization. I'm trying to think why this is possibly because I'm using this armature thing for the boots, then possibly I'm doing something different. And then I'm not getting the... Yeah, actually we can also leverage this here down, like to adjust here. Still works, right? In spite of... let's just get the... If you get some rig UI, then it is... No, what's going on? Ah, this is not the script. The script is here. So just to make, instead of clicking the bone all the time, we can get it from here. Without having to be on the armature object and without having to select that bone, or whichever bone has got the... If we select the bone, we also have access in the tab here, the sidebar region, but it will be here, right? You need to have the bone selected, right? And you need to be on the armature object, otherwise it vanishes. So here you see, in spite of the distortions that I've made there for the boots, in general it seems to be working fine. We could, on the corrective, maybe we can do something here. Yeah, so I want to improve this approach and see if there's anything that can be made better, revise some different techniques, test multiple things, and this one's... yeah, okay, so you see I'm not using this for this adjustments. The tip of the toes, they are being maintained, and what is changing is the heel. Alright, makes sense. And of course all that, right? In parts this is happening because of the deforms, and in part 4 because of the shape key. So maybe what is bad here is that I'm having these old waves. These were waves that were made when the boots were in a unmatching condition, right? And you see, it still works. So with now here also this part, I think we can. So what to do with this thing? I think it's just not in the correct setup. I think they are actually in reversed. So let's use proportional. Let's try. Yeah, okay, but this is okay, the corrective, and so what matters really is this for the, yeah, there are some distortions indeed, and this is annoying, but we can probably survive in spite of all that. Oops, let's see here. Here yeah, no, this will be well, it's not too bad. The fact is that something about this mesh here that I've moved too much and cautiously. Yeah, it's like this curvature here is doing some going the other direction. It's not good for the design, but probably I was moving this thing in a too crazy way, and now I don't know how to fix it. And to be fair, it doesn't need to be fixed entirely. At least we can just yeah, so the idea is that I need to revise this, but the important thing here is that for the meshes, let's say this is cleared out. So we got these boots adapted here for all costumes that matter for the project right now, and I was using urban. And now I need to, one good thing to do would be for me to try to solve this these limits. So this implies, originally what I was doing was just creating a new, they will swap, maybe not gradually, maybe gradually is better, usually it's better, but in this case, so you have the stance change, which is gradual, and then we have this toggle of the limit rotation. This is a bit tricky because there's the radiance problem. I have to calculate in the driver. If you use the expressions, we need scripted expression, need to use radians and try to convert this to on our own. So what's happening here is that we are adding 18 degrees and not 22 degrees. That's it. We're adding 22 degrees to both. These things, they don't overlap themselves. They sort of combine themselves to give the best minimum and the best maximum for the limit. So this is complicated, but essentially, if I get, so I need to get the mechanism toes roll, the mechanism heel roll, and that's just what I need here, I think. Of one side, and then we can symmetrize. So this is what I need here. Okay, so this is the updated limit, and you see it's not too bad, but here we could do more, and this is maybe slightly too much. But if we return here, actually if you look for the foot, so this is okay, is not too much, it could be more, and here it might be a bit too much, right? So but for cartoon that might be even not sufficient, right? So we see there's some intersections there. We could probably get better job at that, just a detail. And here also this part of the mesh, this probably is something that we'll address later, revising the waves. That okay, so there's not too much variations here in the limits that the system is adapting properly, right? Is just some small things. If we try to keep regular, yeah, the driver, it wants to have this 18 degrees positive. So we are, because this bone will go up, RXX along local, so it's a positive 22 would be about here. So if we get here, it already transforms, and here, so if we check here the transforms, okay, it haven't, its local coordinates not changing. It's a problem in Blender. So now I'll have to I don't know how much this is in radians, so there's a way to know this. Now I'm prepared for this. Not Shift F4. So there is this. We're gonna get the I don't math tools, math utils, is that No, it's not. No, I don't remember. So I have to. Maybe it's already there. Okay, hold on. Import, of course. Import BPI mat. There we go. I think that works. I'm not gonna find in this way. I have noted it somewhere, so no problem. But I need 1 second, folks. Like, yeah, 3 minutes. Be right back. Folks, back. Sorry. Let's go here to the. So this is a way to automatically convert. Well, to calculate the conversions automatically. I have to check some quick thing here in my well, this doesn't seem to be. I'm looking at a file here, documentation. Yeah, never mind. Doesn't when we need it's not here. Probably I got. Oh, it's okay. Let me show that in the as a screen then. All right. So I have something here that will be radians convert scripted. Yeah, it might be something like that. What's the name of this? Drivers mat rigging. Yeah, so there's something. Output value. Driver register. Radians frame. No, this doesn't seem. No, no, this is probably not the case. So let's. It's the BPY. Incredible. I don't have. Okay, apparently. Well, when I need the information, it's not here, so I think it will be here. So this guy, Chris Holt, has some good introduction to Python. Not sufficient for rigging, but good. BPS, OP, BPI, import. No, it's not here. Okay, so where is the?
One thing to keep in mind is that when we call operations like this, Blender automatically makes the cube the newly selected object, so we can actually take advantage of that. I like to
Import radians.
which stands for selected object. You can call it anything you like. So I could write here so equals bpy.context.active_object. So now after we've created the cube.
Okay, there's some. I have more notes here that seem more important than. Okay, explanation. Added object runner, so this can be explored for finally in the text editor. So it's dense comment here by myself. Get partial inbuilt module inside math model. Okay, it's one PPI importing from math import. Okay, this is not necessary. I don't need. I want to use the Python console in this case. I'm not doing a script for this conversion. So actual Python code form for calculate the conversion. My variable. Then he even made a. Yeah, but all this is not really helping because I want just the calculation. So it's the Blender Python console convert radians. It's just one single stupid code to degree or something like that. Okay, use math degrees function from math model. Okay, import the math model. Okay, so it's just this or something. Okay, let's try that. What is the math degrees? No. Import. Okay, then there we go. So this probably converted okay, so this converted. It's confusing, but it's probably this is converted 90 degrees to radians. To where the radius to degree, if I use the radians to degrees, oh, so this is the final. And what's the inverse? Okay, this. Okay, so there we go. So if you have 1, that means all right. I want okay, just do this. Fine. It's not what I wanted still. Well, actually this is quite what I wanted here. So we got Okay, just picking the screenshots. It is so here we're gonna, so this is the angle plus 22, that will become this plus 22, that is 82. Okay, so I need this value here, and we're gonna now comes the interesting part finally. So the custom thing, custom property, allows me to switch here. So there is a plus 22 degrees here. So what I need to do is that I want to add these 22 values here and here, instead of having a different bone constraint, limit rotation bone constraint. I think this is possible. I just need to drive wait, I don't drive this, I drive this. Okay, each one of the two. So we're gonna so I cannot just add this thing, but like bluntly there, it would make no sense. Like copy as new driver and like something like that. This will do something very weird, right? But basically this is zeroing out the and for some reason it's not getting the, yeah, it's this is very destructive, right? So I think what I need here is to develop a scripted expression that could solve this in the way that I want. But I have already this as a variable. So this is what matters, because this needs to be indeed a variable. But I have to do this in terms of radians, which is horrible, right? So how I would adapt this value from 0 to 1 to the radian to meet the degrees that I just know that I need to add this thing. So actually I need to convert -60 to, so math degrees, so that is, wow, really? No, there's can't be right. Maybe I need this. No. Yeah, this thing is crazy. Oh yeah, I'm doing it wrong. It's like I want to know how much is negative. This is okay. So this is one thing that I need. yeah, let's bring these two together. And these three. Okay, for now that will be okay. So this is just negative and the other is positive. Makes sense. Okay, they are just mirrored. Gonna save. We're gonna edit driver. So this is fit stance, which is this thing, right? Which I don't know how I'm gonna. I think I can do this as a multiplication, right? Like that would work like a sort of percentage, right? Okay, so I need like -60 plus no, it's not -6. It's actually this value here which is an approximation plus it's certainly not this. It's this times times actually this. There we go. So this will make it in 0 or as it is, and then sum, except that it's not working, but close. So you get some variation of 80 degrees. I'm adding 80 degrees to the thing. Let's just use this and see if it's actually working. Okay, so this is not respecting the right. This is not what I have found before. It's possibly this multiplication. So at least is this correct? -3. Yeah, so this is -3 degrees. Why it's giving me this stupid difference, right? Let's do the inverse. Yeah, this I know is this, right? So yeah, so it's 1 point something, right? Yeah, there we go. So this thing is not working correctly, or it should has added an entire 1 in front. Ah, now you don't know how to calculate. No, just no. There we go. So this is still not a good approximation, right? So then you can't get the this is a bit too way more than 60. This seems very bad, right? But okay, we can for the time being we can try to use this then. Okay, so we're gonna go back and edit. We're gonna do 105. Yeah, no, it will be edit script. So I have -1, which is 60, right? -60 degrees plus in radians, or what I was able to achieve through this, then plus what should be okay. If I take this off, okay, I have this value, fine. 22 degrees, which is probably not this value. I don't trust it anymore. No. Okay, let's use in the this is a problem with the UI, like it just don't know how to automate those things. You have one UI right next to the other telling in the different format, right? It's very bad. So anyways, not very user friendly at all. And then those things that calculate wrongly even, so or they right, makes no sense. And so math degrees, so I'm transforming degrees something in radians, which, yeah, no, it's actually, where's that other math dot pi divided by degrees. Okay, so this is the math module that I've imported before. Then this is not a function, but yeah, this thing will sort of work like a function right now, this whole thing. So I need 22 degrees, yeah, that will provide this. But if I place this into math degrees here, we get so yeah, but it's not correct. Maybe I need to add, I don't know what I need to add here to I added half. No. Let's go in then the internet. I'll try to, maybe we'll give a better result here. Convert degrees to radians. So I want just this. Alright, so why not? And what about this? Yeah, I think I'll probably use these ones. Okay, plus this. No, it's not. Can't I control this amount of? No, I can't have more than that. Okay, but is that value any close to 1.04? .04? No. Yeah, there's a 0.9 plus on top of this. Very weird. So okay, so you need to add plus this times the what's the name, flat heel fit stances. Yeah, fit stances. Ah, yeah, okay, so the first is working. Finally. Well, it's not precise, but at least it should be. This we can revise later to get clean stuff. And then here we're gonna do the same formula, but the different. Now it's 60 degrees, right? So it's just that, okay, the inverse. No, it's not that. It's copy this. Plus something times that. I don't care if it is this same value here. No, we're getting some problem here. Oh yeah, this value. Know how I obtained that, but well, I know it's this thing is just not helping. This UI is, and there we go. So now what this does is that we are controlling the limits. The limits, they float well, no, there seems to be some, don't seem to be quite right. No, that's the limits exactly. So if I change here the limits, yeah, it is locked behind, right? So I think we've got no bug here, no, it's just, so of course there is some something about extrapolate. I don't know, it seems that I can, it's not doing the limits that I wanted. I think I broke something when I did this crazy thing. This usually should lock, and right, should stop, hold the bone, right? Ah, influence 0, there we go. Okay, then we are gonna try this time on this way. Okay, so then it has this small thing there. It is lagging behind, right? It should reduce its limit. Right, for example, I have this, now I reduce, then you see it starts to get somewhat distorted, but it adapts, right? I cannot... Yes, it is adapting with the transform. And that's it, folks. So this is not, don't need to do this for every materials, just for the bones, and we are reusing them. So what I need to do is just, oh, there is something that is, of course, oh yeah, so it is not over. We got to do the same for the two of these things. Yeah, very frustrating. Yes, because it's not working. This doesn't work alone. It needs the advanced foot rig. It also needs this, but the formula is the same basically. The problem is that I have to map new conversions here. It's 0 degrees and yeah, 0 degrees, that's all. So I need to, for example, so this here I can totally, well, I'm not sure. No, yeah, this is the limit, it should match, right? Except that I cannot manipulate it, so I'm not sure what, if the limit augments or reduces. I think it follows up, yeah, because they are inverted things, right? Min and max. Yeah, this is bizarre, right? But let's try to just do the simple thing. Copy driver, paste driver. So this should be the same, this should be the same. Oh, that's why it was not working before. No. Yeah, I think of course needed adaptation here for. Alright, and then the minimum, this is where I need to, yeah, so sure, no, it's okay, probably it's just 0 then. I don't need this. Okay, this is gonna break something here. Aha. And as for this, okay, copy driver, paste driver. Yeah, Something seems broken. Yeah, so this one, maybe it's the no, it's not here. No, yeah, it's this one indeed. So maybe I need to do the inverse here. No, it's not like that. Could it be that here? I knew this would be tricky. Okay, let's just try here. Maybe they compensate. No, never mind. Alright, so what is happening? I have this thing that here is perfect. Okay, then when I add high heel, it might not seem, but possibly both are broken. It's hard to read exactly. Limit rotation. Okay, so this rotates pivots from here. So this what is this for? I can't think here. This I need to do this intuitively and testing stuff. So the angles is just something about that the range maintains the same. It's just that I need to push them towards one of the directions. So it's not like it's not equivalent. The limit is the range is 60 degrees. And so it should remain 60 degrees for this and this. So, but this is not happening. Probably it's one of them or both needs to go. So actually this needs to be perhaps negative 22, and then from 60 we get 48. Yeah, so it's one of them maybe should go in the direct opposite, or maybe both of them. So yeah, so this value here I need to convert. Yeah, already this is wrong. So I need to find the okay, we've got this. So this will be 0. Wait, why negative 38? The max is 60. Yeah, so it's positive, and here is 0, but we want this to be... oh no, this is one is 60, right? The max. So it's like it's not this. I inverted the properties. So alright, let's go back. No, I'm destroying everything. Crap. I picked the wrong bone. Okay, so let's say 0 minus. Okay, this, right? Here is where I need to change this one, so this is equivalent to 60 minus this. Yeah, that's no, this is not correct. Why they are matching here? This should just be oh, again this is the wrong bone. Yeah, I've been doing to the wrong bone always. I need a list, but I need another. I should have this thought of this before. Shift 11, where is my... Okay, I'll make a collection here of this radians. So 60 degrees is this needs a lot of concentrations. And of course this is, yeah, then I have where is that other value? It will be this. I have somewhere, yeah, I certainly have. It's this, right? Or certainly this one. Any other value that is important? 60, 0. No, so it's just a minus, a question of minus and more. Okay, so start here. So this you get okay, but what was this one? I don't remember what is this. I'm gonna check directly here. Oh yeah, so this is the negative 60. That's just this one, yeah, whatever. Let's just use this one here. Okay, I am gonna save this because it can be important as a backup too. So we're gonna use this simpler version while they are so distant here. Okay, whatever. We got this one. This time not gonna mess up. So, and then here we got another of this 60 plus the same thing. Okay, so that we got. So this is simple. Now here, so the idea is that it starts with 0, but we're gonna negate that. And here we are start at positive 60 degrees, and then we're gonna do negative, and so you have this, and now we can copy paste. They are equal, so paste driver, copy driver, no, copy driver, paste driver, and no, this not wrong, this is wrong, copy driver, wait, it went I picked the wrong one. Copy driver 38 degrees for the max paste driver. Alright. Now they, so this augments and these two reduce. So from, and apparently this didn't solve the range. The limits, yeah. One should augment, the other looks like I have a limitation here. Yeah, so we need to augment the bending of the toes. Okay, and this is the heel, this is the toes, so the toes is this one, toes roll. Okay, now it's clear. So I need to augment, so the 0 maybe sustains as 0. I'm not sure, and no, then the range can change, right? So I need to augment, provide the direction here is, yeah, it's positive, so it needs to raise its max. Yeah, after a while this start to recover some notion of how this should work. So if I prepare that, it will be much less complicated. But now I'm in the flow, it's better to try to, at least I'm better than last time when I tried. I had no idea how to, which variables. I was trying to stack two variables, but we can just use a constant value, which is the 22, so you can just bring it directly as a number here in radians, as I'm doing. So that also works. So just need one variable which already has, which is this one, which is just a, it is calculating properly. It's like a percentage, right? What matters is the binary extremes between 0 and 1. So either it's nothing, or is 1 is the full value of in radians. So the intermediate radians don't matter, and then we end up stacking either the original degrees or angle in degrees, or the final angle is in degrees after the sum or diminution of that 22 degrees. So pretty simple actually. What's complicated is dealing with the UI and a bit of the math, but it's okay. Then here I need to augment this, so probably this here, and here we're gonna also augment. So I want to while this one, maybe this is augment as well. That doesn't seem correct, but it's a try. Oh, I probably messed up again. Wrong bone. Yeah, I got the wrong bone. When did I destroy this thing again? Ah, well. Destroyed the driver. Right, let's not mess up this one again. Okay, so here it's going negative. And I need positive here. And maybe even twice. Yeah, it doesn't look that we have sufficient. No, actually, yeah, here I was about to destroy this again. Positive here. Okay, so here we got something, and then as for this one, they need to be in sync. Interesting. So I can't rotate the other way around. With this limit here. So maybe this one needs to be a constant. No, I'm deleting. Yeah. Because this is a heel. Although oh yeah, the heel, it leverages, that will leverage the, if you change the mean, we're gonna disrupt the toes position, right? So we can't, so this will not change then. Now we need to change here, so the maximum, wait, why is this maximum? Maybe it needs to be It was 60. Should it be less? So positive. Now this is a negative row. Okay, I see. So was it wrong? No, it was working before. So why does it need? No, this gives me no motion here. No, yeah, definitely. So what was wrong here? Positive, positive. Okay. No, so it's positive, totally positive, but it doesn't have a range here. Does it need to sum twice? This is being to no avail, so it's probably no, it's this, it's its rotation. Oh yeah, it's its min. No. It's just its max. Oh no, I'm editing the wrong. Great. So here. This is not changing, very weird. Okay, I can copy driver, delete driver. Let's see what you get here. 60, nothing. It's enabled, yeah, everything there. This is doing nothing. No, this is doing something definitively, so I cannot rotate here, so I need to augment here. There. Something else seems to be locking. There. Now this is the limit rotation of the other bone. Is it possible that this one is affecting the rotation of... Yeah, it is. There we go. So maybe we need to... cannot lock this one, but we need to lock the others. Alright. We might have some delayed, but that should work. So what we need here is just to maintain the 60, right? All right, so this is the secret. It was being locked because of this one. So the heel doesn't need to change because it corresponds to the alignment of the foot. It's just okay, interesting. But then I need to set I think I can do something about this. Yeah, probably something here is wrong. Oh yeah, is this the minimum? It's let's see, XX. Augmenting the range. Why not, right? So then possibly we were mistaken here. All right. That took so long, but we got not too long, just very suffering solution, but yes, we got it. So this works some sort of tutorial later, or if I do this again, some highlights. So here we totally got this setup. I've never done with these increments, not exactly increments, but you got the idea. Now what we need to do, so it's just 2 bones. We're just going to get them yeah, it's symmetric, so we cannot, yeah, first we're gonna symmetrize them. Yeah, just in case, let's also symmetrize the heel, and then we gonna copy driver, copy driver, paste driver. It's not assigned to a bone, it's the driver is the same slider button, so should be equivalent. And now this, actually this copy driver, paste driver, copy driver, paste driver. Yes, so now finally we have the setup. This solves the remaining, yeah, I found another problem, is that we need to investigate the weights of the boots, the higher boots, and find the, but this will be more like I still note that, right? So yeah, we're gonna bring this to the notes in the very end. Alright, let's get here to complete this stuff. Where is this? custom shapes. No high heel stance. Okay. High heel busy starts match breast position with proper custom proper change of leverage. Okay, we found some other way to do this. High heel rotate axis on normal transform degrees. Yeah, we solved that. That's completely boost. But there's still one thing that might be. It's like verify waves and finally this will be like just a matter of just also notes. Reproduce latest best setup. Yeah, actually develop best setup. Yeah, workflow it's setup. It's something that will remind me what I mean by that is that what is the order of things that should be made in order to get this thing in a more easy way to understand, right? The clearer, more didactic way to do that kind of high heel boots rig. Okay, then I think for this will be to this. So this was on the big little things that would be nice to fix, and we achieve it. So in the end here, yeah, there's this panel. This is something that could be nice if we could solve this already. We'll clean up, and then it's the helper rig, the the face rig, right? It's more priority. Okay, folks. So for today was all that. Thanks for watching. Take care. Happy blending. Sorry for the confusion here, but we ended up making it to work, and I need to publish this more accurately, but for now this will be maybe a future highlight or something like that. I need to start remaking tutorials of this, but this is right at this moment I'm in a bit of trouble. So thanks for watching, folks. We'll tomorrow no stream, but maybe I do something else. We'll see. And anyways, thanks. See ya. Have a nice weekend, and see you soon. Maybe on Monday or so. Happy blendering. See ya, folks.